Hello, Capricorn. I'm Jenny Fitterer, and welcome to your December Tarotscope. I have a single tarot card for you for the month of December to see what's coming up for you. The first 2/3 of December is Sagittarius season. Then we'll have the December solstice, and then that'll be Capricorn season. So happy birthday to you, December Capricorns. And the card for you this month is the Five of Wands. So this is the way he looks. We've got these five wands, and they're kind of like helter-skelter across the front. We've got these butterflies kind of blocking the view and some kind of red swirls. And way in the background, we see a bunch of soldiers, like an army contingent. They've got all these pikes in the background, but you can't really see because there's kind of a lot of messy detail in the front. So that's the Five of Wands, and we're going to go to the book. See what Five of Wands has to say for you, Capricorn. So here we go. Five of Wands, shaping your will. Wands stand for instinctive drives and initiative and represent the fire element. Five wands are the essence of the fire element, the human will. Our will is made up of our deeds and intentions, our consciously chosen actions, and our unconscious motives. As long as the fire of life burns, your will is constantly being reshaped. In the background, 7 or 8 helmets of lance bearers and 12 lances can be seen on the card. Each one of the 12 lances and of the 5 green wands represents a certain type of energy. As if participating in a huge game of pick-up sticks, it is your task to gather up this energy, to sort through it, and to focus it on something worthwhile. Different interests and tendencies are always pulling in different directions. What has first priority? How can several goals be attained at the same time? An integral part of this process of shaping the will is for existing role models to become obsolete. The red area in the middle of the card stands for your personal fire, your power and vivacity, creating new facts that go way beyond traditional experiences, thus dismissing those redundant conceptions. Do not spread your energies too thin. Center yourself. See your current tasks as tests of your determination, your willpower, and your playfulness. Find out which aspects of your will are in harmony with your desires and so able to get something moving. Find out which acts of will are superfluous because you are still trying to force something to happen that is actually no longer relevant or has not yet become so. Practical advice: create space in your daily routine. This might include taking some time out or establishing your own room. New alternatives are waiting to be explored and tested in your personal relationships and in your career. Go for it. Okay, Capricorn, this card is really excellent for this particular month for you. So the Five of Wands is a fire card. It's a Wands card. That's the fire element. And Sagittarius season is fire for sure. It's definitely, so we've got this concept of will is a very fiery kind of element. The will is it doesn't really matter if we have all of the good intention or we have a vision of what we want to do or we have all of these skills of how we get to it. If we don't connect it all with willpower, the fire to get you started, the fire to take action, then it doesn't really matter how great your vision or your skill set is. So this Five of Wands is really wanting to hone in your energy into that potent willpower that then you can direct it towards your tasks and your goals. But we're kind of seeing in this card, Five of Wands is like, the energy's kind of starting to diffuse. It used to be stable in how the numbers of tarot go together. They kind of tell a story. So Four of Wands is very stable energy, like a 4, like a square foundation. Five of Wands, it's starting to get tippy. We're starting to add a few more things. And there's a tendency now to start to diffuse the energy and not really, you do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and nothing really gets done. So this Five of Wands card is really saying right now what you want to do is bring it in. You want to look at where your energy is directed, what in your work life, how much energy and time, not just actually doing things, but the mental energy, the managing other people, the getting ahead of what needs to happen. That's a lot of energy there. Okay, there's relationships. There's stressful relationships. Is there new relationships that takes a lot of energy? Is there tender, relationships where there's a lot of needs given, and what's your home life like? There's so many different ways in which our energy is put into different places. And it's kind of like the idea of going, like checking your credit card statement and seeing what kind of automatic charges that you have coming out that you've kind of forgotten about, that you paid for that, and you don't use that subscription anymore, you don't really like that anymore, but it's still taking away your funds without realizing where have you paid your energy into something that it doesn't really feel that important to you right now, that you can take it back. You can cancel that credit card payment and you can start to bring it back into the middle until you know that where your energy is going is really what you want want it to be for, and it's not leaking out other places. So this particular season, this is really added because Mars, the planet, I know this is not typical for the Tarotscopes, don't usually talk about the astrology of the planets that much, but Mars is in retrograde, and Mars is our planet of action as well. And retrograde in this case is very much you're wanting to pull your energy in, and it's also retrograding in Gemini, which likes to do a lot of different things. So right now, already in the planets, there's this tendency to be like, I'm doing a lot and I feel a little kind of shaky and I think I need to retract and bring it in. So this card is saying, yes, Capricorn, really please utilize this Mars in retrograde energy that's happening all the way through the month of December to bring that in, because you've got things to do. You're a Capricorn, you've got goals, you've got big vision, and you're coming up on your solar return, you're coming up on your birthday, and a really great time to inject a little bit more enthusiasm and focus in on what it is that you want to be doing and spending your time and energy. But it's not going to work if you've already expended yourself so much. So Sagittarius season up until the December solstice is going to be a really great time to try to look at the whole picture, try to see where your energy is dispersed, and seeing how you can kind of bring it back in, so that the fire, the energy itself, it's condensed, so that it's burning hotter in the middle because you've brought all the fuel in. It's like a fire, when you stack all the wood up together, it burns really well, and when you want to kill the fire, you knock the wood everywhere, you disperse the heat, and then it'll cool. So right now you might, Sagittarius season, you kind of want to build the bonfire back up again. You want to bring the coals in, you want to stack it all up, and then your energy is going to be really cooking. And then once we hit solstice, that's when you can, you'll have really been able to sort out your priorities. This card is very much wanting to say, okay, what are your priorities here? What do you want as well? So your priorities are your priorities. Yes, we have important people in our lives, and yes, this doesn't, focusing on your priorities doesn't, of course, mean tossing everybody to the wayside, especially if you do have responsibilities, but making sure that that's a choice. You are connected to those priorities, not just because someone has dumped it on you, and then you'll be able to line up your will and that, newly condensed fire energy to then direct towards your priorities. And it doesn't mean that you have to only have one goal. Like, bringing your energies in doesn't mean just condensing on one thing. Often doing multiple things is actually a good way to get things done. But just make sure that is coming from a centered and then a chosen place. So that's kind of what this card is really suggesting, that before, December is a really busy time for a lot of people, and then coming up on your birthday, things can, that can get busy as well. So if you are able to take, and it's kind of interesting because Sagittarius is usually a very playful season. Like, we kind of want to be maybe partying a little bit more social, maybe traveling and expanding and going out and like having this kind of exciting time. There's usually Sagittarius energy. We want to expand outward. But for you right now, because you're prepping for your solar return, this month is really inviting you to use that Sagittarius energy in a different way, to tie it into this refocusing of energy instead of just dispersing it, so that you can then move it on and tie it to your goals. So you might find that you might want to say no to a few things. This December, there's always a lot of functions, work functions, parties. Make sure that what you are going to and what you are doing and hosting is because you want to go, not because you feel obligated, not because you're, that there's this pressure that you have to go out and do a bunch of things. Even if there might still be some joy and fun in it, Sagittarius playfulness, you might feel a little it's pulled in multiple directions of, oh, I really want to kick back and enjoy this, and I really actually do like these people, but I'm actually really tired and I kind of want to focus on this, or I really just want to focus on me time. Maybe I don't want a big party for my birthday, maybe I do. What do I really want to do? And you might find a few things, like the kind of FOMO of like, well, everybody's having fun. I don't really want to go, but I don't want to feel like I'm missing out. So even that bringing in of your willpower, it can even just be really redefining what you want. And if what you actually do want is to go to all these things and to still be vibrant, at least you know it, that you've gone through that credit card list and you've said, oh yeah, no, I want that. I still want that. I still want all these payments. I've double checked and I actually do want to put my energy out. Even just that reassessing is better than just going on autopilot. So it doesn't have to mean you take things out, but this is really just encouraging you to do that diligence, to assess all of this energy, make sure that it's all in line with your willpower. And then Capricorn season starts. You've got that birthday energy. energy, and then you can really just like give her on whatever it is that your goals are, whether they're outward focused and growth oriented, or whether the goals are maybe a little bit more inward, a little bit more rebuilding or nourishing or resting. That can be a goal for you. Health goals, social, like that's all fine. Goals can be in or out. Doesn't really matter which way. So as long as that you've determined that it's really what you want. So that's the message for you, Capricorn, is it's you time. And just bring that fire together, and then you'll be really set. So if you have any questions especially of those, I talked a little bit about the Mars retrograde transit. There's a few other transits that are definitely happening this month. And if you want to check out the Sagittarius season Pay What You Can forecast, then there's a little bit more information on all of those transits that are going to be happening this month. So I would highly recommend you check that out as part of your kind of supportive reassessing of where your attention should be going. Otherwise, I will see you next month, Capricorn. And again, happy birthday. And have a lovely December.